right, so Jerome Powell just came out and did his speech thing at 1:30 today, and he said quite a few things. And what I want to do is just kind of go over it real quick, talk about what he's expecting, and just overall how the market is reacting to all of this move. My voice is a little bit sick, so I hope you don't mind. And if you do enjoy this video, make sure to smash the like button and subscribe. And let's get straight to it. So in my group, we kind of just waited for Powell. In the morning, we did a short play which went up to 30%, and then I took some profit at 30%, and then stopped out of the rest because market was grinding, and so ended up kind of a small loss here. And that's fine, because at the end of the day, you have to play based on what the market gives you. And at that moment, before Powell came to speak, market wasn't really giving much. So it was a very tiny loss, basically a break-even trade. So then, obviously what I do is I wait for Powell, because until Powell comes in and he starts talking, market's really not gonna do anything. And it wasn't really doing much. So Jerome Powell comes in, market, what happens? Reacts really aggressively. Why? Because he says this: Fed Jerome Powell, economic impact of tariffs likely larger than expected. Very bearish here. Very bearish tone here. So far, larger than expected tariffs likely mean higher inflation and slower growth. This is a big deal, because what that basically means is that he doesn't plan on cutting rates, which is something that Trump wants Powell to do. He wants him to cut rates. Powell's not going to cut rates because Powell's expecting higher inflation due to more tariffs, right? Tariffs increases price, inflation, right, obviously goes up. So this is very big, and market, of course, reacting to it very, very aggressively. And here's the other part: so far larger than expected tariffs. So this is the same thing that I just said over there. And yeah, I mean, basically what we did is I instantly, when I saw that, I called out a play right here. I took puts, 527 puts at 130, and just go in and play it. And it was a bear flag. We'll talk about what the chart was doing. And obviously, well, Jerome Powell being Jerome Powell, he is spoon feeding us in the group today. So yeah, it was a really good profit. These ran to 200% and could even run more. I mean, just you can see the reaction to what Jerome Powell has said. Very, very aggressive drop, and I don't think we're done dropping, because he is still very bearish. And my 527 puts are way in the money right now. We're at 525, and it's just been a blast. So obviously you can see in the morning we kind of just been very choppy heading into Jerome Powell, and then the big dump when he started talking. So pretty standard thing. Once you see the news, market reacts to it, and if you can get the news right away, you go in and you play the market, and you make as much money as you possibly can and get out, right? So obviously the way I played it is I sold majority of my gains on this candle right here, and then I have some runners who are paying me that 200+%. Obviously I'm going to probably get out of my runners very soon here, because we're starting to get a short cover bounce. But this has been a very interesting day, and I'm back to green. Even though I had that small loss in the morning, I'm more than green right now on the day. The main thing is VIX did end up bouncing. That $30 level, $29.50 $30 level is building as a big support. So we're gonna have to see how VIX does heading into the rest of the week, which is just one more day tomorrow, because this is a short week, right? Friday is off due to Good Friday. And heading to next week, I want to see if this $29.50 $28.50 $30 level is going to break down, so we can get VIX to drop all the way down to like 20, low 20s. If not, if VIX decides to, hey, we want to go back up and we start pumping to 40s and 50s again, it would probably require some kind of bigger news with tariffs and so on. So something to watch out for in case that is going to happen. And of course, Jerome Powell is still talking, so there's more that he can say. He could even say something that could push the market up again. But essentially, if I look at SPY and I look at the daily chart on SPY, how it's behaving, we tried to recover and go up right after dropping from the peak here. We kind of tried to get back and get to do the downtrend reversal, but after today, the setup has kind of gone back to being more bearish than bullish. We still have this uptrend here that SPY is still holding today, right? Even after this drop, SPY is bouncing right near that uptrend. So if this uptrend does break, we're gonna probably see potentially 500 again, and under 500 more downside, right? Depends on news, depends on what happens. Again, anything can change. Market is very back and forth right now, so take it at face value, and don't just assume that everything's gonna crash. But based on Jerome Powell's statements, he is expecting, in my opinion, the economy going into a more recession, area, I would say. And if that is the case, yeah, there might be more downside than upside still. But at the end of the day, if you're doing long-term trading, you should be safe, and you basically just you just make money. Personally, the last thing I want to say is monitor the news, monitor this whole tariff thing, especially if you're a day trader. You have to keep an eye on this market and all the news and all the trade wars that is happening. If you don't, it's really easy to lose money in this market because of how unpredictable it is and how back and forth it is. So just be sure to read the news. Stay tuned for any updates in this channel, because I'll be posting any big news that comes out. I'll try to post it as soon as I possibly can. And yeah, we'll see what happens, right? The last thing I want to mention is Meta. The stock has been absolutely getting beaten down right now, and it's due to this antitrust. Where is it? Not this one. There we go. Meta antitrust trial reveals failed settlement talks with FTC. So because of this, Meta has been very weak, even though market was doing pretty well earlier in the week, right? Beginning in Mondays and even last week. Meta just has been very weak this entire week, and it's because of that news. So what I'm thinking is, well, what can happen? Well, if Meta platforms offered 450 million settlement to end FTC antitrust case, and I don't think the FTC is willing to take it because it's failed settlement talks. So yeah, I think Meta has more potential to go on down even more. We did play Meta right here yesterday, which was, I mean, absolutely beautiful. I had Meta puts, 500 puts, which I sold majority of it yesterday for a really good win, and then I held some runners for more. And what ended up happening is these runners, I just sold them because my $500 target hit, and those runners paid a lot. So yeah, idea was really good with Meta. I saw that news and I saw how it was behaving the whole week, and to me it looked very bearish. So I played the put side, and it has done a very good job of just breaking down and selling off, and we hit our 500 target. What do I think Meta is going to do heading into the rest of this week and next week? Well, I'm kind of looking at the following level here, which is the level of 480. I think right now Meta is hovering around 500. If it breaks through this 500 or closes under 500, there's a very good chance we see that 480 mark. And then under that 480 mark, well, we have a lot of room to go down. So we'll see if that happens. But again, this is a great company. I would say if Meta gets to these prices, I mean, it's really cheap in my opinion, especially for long term. So worth watching Meta heading into the rest of this week and tomorrow. I'll be keeping this as my top watch because I do like the short here. I think that there's potential for more downside. But let's say this antitrust case, there is a conclusion to it, Meta will get a really nice spike. So watch out for that, for any news around that antitrust trial. If Meta decides to do a settlement and the settlement goes through, and the FTC instead of 450 million, maybe they want to get $1 billion. I don't know, but if that is the case, you'll see initially it will drop and then it will bounce. So it's just whenever this antitrust trial ends is when you'll see a good spike on Meta. Worth watching for that for sure. All right, with that said, I'll see you guys on the next video. Peace.